Hey everybody! Today's video is going to be the classic demonstration of the silver tree, which I've done many times before, but I've never actually filmed. All it requires is silver nitrate, which I've got in the bottle there, distilled water, and a bit of copper. And my copper is just copper wire, thick copper wire that I've coiled into a little spring, and I've made it so that it fits into this beaker pretty nicely. The copper is a little tarnished because I've used this piece for this exact demo a couple of times before, but it should still work for this one, so we should be alright. Now, with my experiment, I'm going to aim to produce 1 gram of silver metal at the end of this. So I've calculated that I'm going to need 1.6 grams of silver nitrate, which will weigh out right now. Slightly over, but that's alright. And it's probably a good thing, actually, because silver nitrate is supposed to be snow white. But I don't know if you can tell, but my silver nitrate is actually gray. There we go. It's a little bit gray. That's because silver nitrate is sensitive to light. So normally you want to keep this stuff in a dark bottle, an opaque bottle, kind of like what they put hydrogen peroxide in. Apparently this bottle is not quite opaque enough, and it's been slowly decomposing just by being exposed to light. So maybe I should put that in a different bottle. But anyways, that's my 1.6 grams of silver nitrate, and now we're going to dissolve that in about 25 milliliters of water. Silver nitrate is very soluble, so this should dissolve in no time at all. Okay, I've got my solution made, and now I'm just going to toss the little coil of copper wire into it. You can see almost immediately we get a change to start happening. So the copper wire has started to tarnish maybe. Maybe it has a bit of a bluish white color to it now. And I can already see there's little bits of something growing on it. It looks like fuzz. It looks like the coil of copper is starting to get fuzzy. Now it's only been a few minutes and we can see there's a really clear change has happened. So we started out with a clear solution, which we put a reddish metal into, and now what we're ending up with is what looks like a white or silvery colored metal, and the solution is starting to turn blue. This is one of my favorite demonstrations to do for kids, to show them some of the cool stuff about chemistry, because it's real easy to set up and you get such a drastic change. It's very, very impressive to them. Also, the fact that it's silver metal is pretty cool. So what's actually happening is this is a single displacement reaction. Which is interesting for the kids, and then usually what I'll do is I'll go on, do other things in the meantime, and then come back to this later in the day, and it's significantly different, which you'll see once we get to that point. At this point we can see the solution is much darker blue and the silver crystals are just beautiful. They're very, very spiky and extremely shiny. Now at this point the crystals start to look a little gross. I think this is because it initially grows really nice small single crystals, but then those kind of start branching out more and more and more like little snowflakes, and the more tiny crystals that you have, they absorb light a little better, so it'll look blacker and blacker. So the crystal tree now might look a little less pretty, but it is still all silver metal, which is pretty neat. About a half hour since my last clip and roughly an hour since we started this reaction, you can see the silver tree has really filled out. All of the silver crystals have grown like crazy, and they're all sort of intermeshed with each other, and we just kind of have a big blob. That's kind of what it looks like. It's very, very cool though. You can see the solution is very, very blue also. And here's another angle on it. You can see we got some nice little hanging growths coming off the top spiral there. And here's some more on this side. Well, now it's been about 9 hours since we started, and I think it's pretty much done. You can see the silver is very, very fluffy. We've got a nice dark blue solution. And I haven't seen it grow in a while, so I think this is it. But it's very, very cool, and you can see that it's grown quite a bit. I like these crystals in the front here. They look very fuzzy. It almost looks like mold. I think that's just a lot of really tiny crystals that have branched out. So really cool stuff. So now what I want to do is recover the silver metal. And sometimes I'll do this in a Erlenmeyer flask. And the